Okay. You know how it tells you when you stop recording if that little it's going to convert after you shut this meeting, but no, I want you to start recording again. Kind of weird. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. This is Jason Lane Curtis. This gentleman has been a motivator and inspirer of me for a long time. God, it seems like a long, long time. It's been less than a year, almost a year,
Yeah,
but
crazy,
less than a
huh?
year, right? Yeah. The this has been the year that lasted 20 years long.
Sure seemed like it.
Right, right. So, this morning, our ticket holders, our clients, guests, customers, if you will, got the chance to watch your pre recorded video. And then Brianna came to center stage, presented the newest Curtis of all, beautiful Olivia. And we had postponed this portion of our talk until 1 week later exactly. So, Jason, first of all, the most important thing out of all of this, how are mommy and baby doing?
Oh, they're doing great. I can't believe it's been a week already. But yeah, we're blessed, and the baby has all 10 fingers and 10 toes and two beautiful eyes and a gorgeous head of hair. And so we're very happy.
That's wonderful to hear. I know you must be a little bit sleep deprived,
Just a
but
little bit.
just a little bit, just a little bit. Um, but yeah, we were talking before I hit go on. This is so worth it, isn't it? I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
middle of the night cuddles can't be beat, you know?
No, not at all. It's worth
Absolutely.
all the sleep deprivation in the world.
Right, right. So, hey Ralph, how you doing? Ralph has been joining us each and every day so far this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Hey, how's it going? And he has gotten some kick ass coaching out of all of this, pretty much designed just for him. Um,
Well,
so
there you
I'm
go.
right. I'm excited to see what we're going, what kind of questions he's got this session. But I would like to begin by kind of giving you the chance to do kind of an overview, Jason, because I know that in our um, initial conversation, our recorded interview, there's a couple of different things that you do. You know, Bonvera being, you know, the network marketing online shopping thing that is so
Hmm.
convenient and that has, it's continuing to expand and has a whole bunch of different aspects, and North American Bank Card. Now, with what Ralph is going through and what a lot of the other guests I think will be concerned the most with is that North American bank card because, as you've explained to me, they are amenable to different, more riskier types of things than your classic multi whatever bank,
Right.
right? So, coaching, CBD, that type of thing.
Hmm.
So, I think, Ralph, especially with what we've been talking about as far as your best lines of potential going forward, you're going to be looked at as a coach in that area, and you're going to need a way to collect money for what you're doing. One of the greatest things that Rolf's got going for him is he's got a skill set in writing resumes for people who want to get federal jobs
Oh,
using the
nice.
type of words that the federal job portal basically is looking for.
Hmm.
So far, out of what 8 people that you've rewritten their resumes for them, 7 have gotten federal jobs.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still
So
waiting on the I'm still waiting on the eighth one because I just did hers.
yeah, so he's rocking almost 100% as far as strategically being able to get people into federal jobs. So there's definitely a market there. Every one of the coaches that we've talked to over the week has been excited about what he's doing, And I would love for you guys to get connected and find out exactly what can be done going forward. So let's begin then, Jason, if you will. Just give us kind of an overview about North American Bank Card and a couple of snippets about Bonvera as well.
Okay. So North American Bank Card, how I came across them, and I'm gonna tie in Bonvera here with it too because it applies. About a year into Bonvera being created, there was a partnership that came along with a credit card processing company, and they didn't process the high risk companies that you mentioned, CBD, coaching, that kind of thing. And well, I got kind of pissed off having to turn away so much potential clientele that I was searching for a high risk credit card processing company. And when I came across North American Bank Card through a Facebook associate, and I've been with them now for, I think it's like 5 months, and I have not had a client not get approved for a merchant account, no matter what the industry is. And so they've just been fantastic to work with. And Ralph, with you in the coaching space, I know that those rates are pretty high, and you might be using, I don't know who you're using, but our rates are usually about 30% cheaper than anything that's already out there. So we're automatically, saving that much money and increasing your revenue. And so, with the North American Bank Card, we also do some capital funding. So there's that option there. We just don't do startup, but we do established companies and stuff like that who need some capital to, equipment, well, just whatever they need for their capital needs. And then go back to Bonvera. So Bonvera, which absolutely took off last year due to the pandemic and everybody purchasing online, right? Um, so so Bonvera, we grew from 13 products in 2016 to where we are now. We have over 250 million products on our website through Bonvera exclusive products, partners, and affiliates. And actually, we just announced this, that we are actually going to help these small and medium businesses on Amazon who are kind of getting squeezed out. And I hate to talk bad about a company, but I'm going to. Um, Amazon is not a good company. They really aren't. They've been taking this intellectual property from these small and medium sized companies, designing the same type of products and selling them for cheaper, which squeezes them out. And so what we've been doing over the last few months is helping these businesses out with getting them on our platform. And that's one reason why we've been able to grow in the last quarter of 2020 from about 150 million products to 250 million products in just a few short months, was bringing those small and medium businesses on our platform to give them better margins too. So it's been great.
So I was wondering, like, I'm just starting, so I'm glad that I met you. And first of all, congratulations on your new blessing.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. And I see you got a BYU shirt there. I'm a Hawaii fan, so.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Is that what that is? BYU?
Yeah, BYU. My I've been a BYU fan my whole life. My wife is a professor there, so so there's the BYU tie-in. So
Oh,
yeah,
I thought that was like the old school Yahoo logo.
it kind of looks like it, right?
Color me blonde. Yeah, it does. So
Yeah.
go ahead,
Yeah,
Ralph.
there's a rivalry between Hawaii and BYU.
Oh, absolutely. They're big time rivalry.
Anyway. Yeah. But so starting the resume business, right? Just so I guess I should go to you because everybody else,
You're bubbling in your sound a little bit, Ralph. It was hard to understand what you said. Can you repeat that?
Okay, hold on. Let me change my setting.
Okay.
The signal here is not that great. Is this better?
Yeah, as far as sound
Yeah, it
goes,
sounds better.
yes.
Yeah.
Can't see you now, though.
Okay, hold on. Might take a little bit.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. So, how would you recommend that? Like my point of purchase, for my customers, how would you recommend I go about that?
Who are you using now? Do you have a payment processor right now?
No, like I said,
Okay,
I'm just starting. Everything's
just
word of
starting
mouth.
out. Okay, okay, word of mouth. Um, so here how it's worked. How it works. What's your price point on your resume coaching? Well, what do you think you're going to
Well, I don't
start?
really have. I was recommended to do like $100 for 5 recommendations, and then 197 for like a do it for you.
Okay,
There's a do it for you plan and a do it with you plan.
okay, okay. So with those, I'm just going to go off of those price points. Um, so for a traditional processor, like your Square, Stripe, even PayPal. Um, for you just starting out, I'm actually going to recommend that you go Stripe right now. Just for the pure fact that you're not really established yet. Because with the traditional processor
Mhm.
like me, there are some monthly costs to where that if I were to bring you on, you wouldn't be profitable right then. And I don't want you to have a bad taste in your mouth to where you're not being profitable. But once you hit, I would say roughly about $2,000 a month, that's when you're going to want to get a traditional processor, because there's a lot of factors for this. Number one is because um, these other processors, Stripe, Square, PayPal, they're all very expensive. And for your particular industry, it's not unheard of for them to have 30-day holds on money or to shut you down, to limit how much you can process. And that's why I'm saying with you just starting out, I don't see any of those problems happening for you at the start. But until you start really getting some processing going through, that's when you're going to want to go to a traditional processor, and that's where I can help you. Whether I whether my company is going to be a good fit with you or not, I think it fits just about every company that's out there, honestly. But we what I love about what we do is where we're not out to just grab money. We're not a money grabbing company. We're out there to serve and to help business owners out. And that's one thing that I wouldn't have aligned with this company if they didn't align with my priorities and principles too.
Hmm.
So, and then I'm going to give you another piece of advice too. I don't know if people have recommended this to you or not. Do not do Venmo. Do not do any cash apps. Do not do anything like that. And the reasons why is number one, they are not business transaction processors. I have had several of my clients actually be shut down by Venmo, lose any money that's been in their account, been sued for any money that's been transacted through their account, and lost. And so not only do you lose the money that's been, yeah, it states right in their terms of agreement that they're not to be used for business transactions. So
Hmm.
yeah, don't use Venmo, don't use any of those cash apps. I would just stay away from those. Um, of course, if you need to take checks and stuff like that, by all means do it do it that way. Um, but yeah, you're going to save yourself a lot of headaches staying away from those type of companies.
Yeah. And
So what
if
about like PayPal?
So PayPal, they've got a huge name brand, right? So PayPal, I have kind of the same disdain for them as I do Amazon, because I had a good buddy of mine who's a coach too. He's a business coach. He had $30,000 in his account with PayPal, and they held on to it for 30 days, and then they just took it from him. And I actually see that quite a bit. And what floored him and me was that he's been with them for years and years and years, and never had any problems with them until that specific point. And then I was lucky to be able to grab him as a partner, with a partnership, a referral partnership, to where now he's with North American Bank Card. He's not having any problems, and as a matter of fact, he's sending me referrals, and vice versa. That because it's just, we both have great products, great services, and we're just really good friends. So it's a really easy partnership to be able to do that. So yeah, PayPal. I mean, for you, I mean, they're easy. They're easy to go with because everybody knows PayPal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when like
Mhm.
what I mentioned, once you get up to that point to where you're averaging $1,500 to $2,000 a month, you're going to want to get away from them,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not a matter of if, it's more of a matter of when they're going to shut you down. Because I've seen it.
Hmm.
Just about everybody that uses PayPal gets shut down. And then once that happens, once you get shut down by any processor, whether it be one of these cash apps or PayPal, Square, Stripe, any of those hundreds of processors that are out there, it makes it that much harder to get another merchant account with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So you really want to be careful.
Now, I don't want to confuse anything, but I do want to speak up for my own experience with PayPal, because I've heard the horror stories from more than one person. I'm not saying that none of that is true. It's very true. I've been with PayPal for about 7 years. I personally have not shut down. Now, I haven't gotten to the point where I've
Cool.
ever had $30,000 in my account at one point either. Okay. But one of the things to keep in the front of your mind is, for example, PayPal is not a bank. It
No,
is a transaction provider. And one of the things that they'll remind you in the beginning that they won't remind you again, and it's easy to forget, is they're not a bank. When you receive that money, have someplace else for it to go immediately.
good
Because if
point.
it
Yep.
sits there, they have to confiscate it. And people don't understand it because as far as PayPal is concerned, it's an incomplete transaction because you didn't take the money from them, right?
That's a good point. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. And people don't understand that. Number two is every of these transaction providers, whether it's Stripe or PayPal, um, because they don't know you, because you're in a high risk industry, because, all of these sketchy factors are being managed to make things possible. They're going to hold on to the first one monies that you get for up to 30 days. Okay.
Right.
So if you go and you create an event and you go, okay, yeah, no problem, we'll just take money through PayPal, right? And you host the event, don't expect to use any of that money to invest in that event. Advertising, sponsored ads, or anything like that. You're not going to be able to get a hold of any of that money until 30 days after the event happens. Even Eventbrite for this event itself, because of COVID, and Eventbrite is very, established. They have their own payment processing. They collect the payment, and then, they hand it over after the sales end, right? They are currently, because of COVID, holding on to that for 5 days after the
Hmm.
sales end, just to protect themselves in case of any refunds being requested. Oh,
Right.
COVID, I had to go into quarantine. I couldn't show up for your event. Can I have my money back, please? Right?
Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So just consider, possibly opening up an account of your choice right away, and maybe having some friends in you do some small interactions to get how that system works, so that 30-day hold from the beginning of the account isn't 30 days from when you expect to start using it,
There
like
you
for
go.
whatever. You've
Hmm.
already got the account established. The hold time has pretty much, if not already completely passed, so that when you start getting paid for it, then you can immediately start receiving the money into your own bank account. Have you set up your LLC and your bank account for receiving money for this yet, Ralph?
Um, no, I asked Rob if I needed one, and he said because it's like a consulting type service, I didn't need one, but I'll double check on that.
You probably don't necessarily need like an LLC and a business banking account. You have to have an LLC to get a business banking account. I would not recommend that you start this function and just start dumping stuff into your own family home bank account,
Yeah.
personal
Keep
thing.
it separate.
You need to keep it separate. Um,
Okay.
so, it really doesn't cost a whole lot to go get the paperwork for an LLC. I think it was like $60 in Arizona to file it. It's not that expensive. And then you just take the LLC to the bank. They help you figure out the tax ID number. And then you can actually have a business entity for
Hmm.
wherever you're doing your financial transactions from, to dump it into that traditional bank, so that all of the worried people have their, their boxes checked, that you're legitimate, you're not just funneling stuff to South America,
Yeah.
or whatever. And, you can actually start receiving that money a lot sooner than a lot of other people do, because they don't get the waiting periods. And forgive me, I used to work at a bank a long time ago, a couple times.
Well, and having that LLC or having some sort of established business makes you more legit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just another thing to think about. Also, one thing I
Hmm.
didn't mention, Ralph, about a legitimate processor, what they're going to do, there's an application process. They're going to want to get some information from you. And the reason why we do that is we're going to make sure that any potential red flags or any red flags that are out there are going to be alleviated before we even approve an account for you. So, and PayPal, Square, Stripe, they're not going to do that. They're going to wait till a red flag to shut you down.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I haven't heard of Stripe shutting anybody down. They've been the most
Yeah, neither
lenient.
have I.
And actually, I actually recommend that all my clients have a backup because systems go down, right? And I actually recommend Stripe to be that backup. And so, no matter what you do, go out and get a Stripe account,
Hmm.
and then you can have that as your backup for when you reach that point to when you didn't know you can contact a legitimate processor and get a legit merchant account.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what exactly is a Stripe account? Is that something I can post on my site, and so people
So
can
yeah.
purchase the
So so
service?
so with
Or
Stripe, they'll give you like a little code once you sign in, once you sign up for them, and then that code plugin, you're going to plug that into your website, whether you're using WordPress or WooCommerce, just any of those, those website builders that you're using, because I believe all those website builders that you have, they're going to have a spot to where you can plug in a payment processing link, and you're going to get that from Stripe. You're going to get that from Square, PayPal. Any of these processors are going to have a code that they can use to plug into your website.
okay.
Ralph, what are you doing your website on? Are you doing WordPress, Wix? What are you working with the site itself?
Um.
Or are you
So we already
doing,
heard about
okay.
the Facebook. Yeah. I had the design. I had the prices posted, but then with the Facebook page, it was like the algorithms and what Facebook don't like, and So I'm looking, like somebody suggested I do LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
and since that's the target market with transitioning military to civilians or civilians trying to find federal jobs, I think I'm going that route
Okay.
because it's a better um, advertisement for me.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're
But
gonna want to
my
have a website of some sort
Yeah.
to market and promote on LinkedIn to send them to where they can go, I need this package, hit this button, give them my credit card number, and go.
Yep.
Those actions aren't actually done on LinkedIn. You're just marketing to your market on LinkedIn because that's where they will be found. So you're going to have to decide on whether it's something real simple like Wix or WordPress. They could be done free at either level. But yeah, like he said, whatever payment processor that you choose to go to, once you set up your profile with them, they will give you a link to add to or incorporate into your website so that when you create, for example, here's your special of I will, rewrite your resume for $200 instead of $300 this month, and you're putting that on LinkedIn, they follow the link back to your web page, and down at the bottom of the web page, there's a button that does all the work, gives them a discount, and sends you the information, puts them on your mailing list, all of these other functions. And that's the next piece for you is to have a space where all of those things can be put so that those functions can be fulfilled. Make sense?
Yeah, I didn't realize that part.
Yeah, you're gonna
Okay,
want to you want to get yourself a good website. And if you need some help with that, I do know some people. But if you feel like you like to do those do it yourself kind of things, then knock yourself out. But if you ever have any questions on that, I have a pretty good network, and I'll be able to refer some people to you on that.
Yep. Highly recommend that.
cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. Excellent.
So Ralph, let me ask you this question. I always like to know people's why. So why did you get into resume coaching for federal employees?
Uh, um, I I'm a retired Air Force. Um, I'm retired Air Force, and then found a job with the Federal Navy for some weird reason. I ended up on the Navy side of things, and I've noticed that a lot of my coworkers, they were just like always coming to me when they were defense contractors, and then they wanted to transfer over to federal, and even supervision was coming to me and like, hey, I want this guy to be a federal employee, and he's a contractor right now. Can you help him with his resume? Here's the job
Nice.
description. And so I guess I just had a knack of putting their experience and the job descriptions together, making that flow right, without no fluff. And one of my
Right.
buddies was like, hey, you should make this as a business because one, it's low overhead. It's just you, your computer, and your time.
Right.
And you have this skill with words. You like, and this guy helped him with his resume. And so I was thinking about it. It's like, yeah, but what about this? What about that? Right? And my friend was like, who cares? So I guess the reason why I'm looking at this area is because you.
Oh, we lost you. He's coming back. There we go. You back?
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. The
Mm.
signal sucks here. I don't understand. But so where was I? About
You're talking about a guy that came to you, and you're giving him a bunch of reasons why this, why that, and it
okay.
just yeah.
Yeah. So he's a Marine vet, and then they asked me to do his resume. And then when he looked at it, he's like, "Holy crap, dude! There's a lot of meat on here, and you only did it with 2 pages." And I said, "Yeah, it's everything's the truth on there." So he gave me the idea of doing that. He was the only veteran resume that I had. Everybody else was all straight civilians. So you understand the federal process where it's, you have a 5-point preference, a 10-point preference, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so 6 out of 7 were straight civilians. And I got them through the process and got them hired as a federal employee. So my Marine veteran friend was like, dude, you need to get paid for this skill set. It's low overhead.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
So it kind of motivated me, and they gave me validation through Rob and Gayle and all these millionaires I'm talking to now, and they're like validating my process, and I'm like, oh, okay. So and that's cool. And I want to help people.
Yeah. Very cool. I appreciate you telling me that.
Now the other side of this, the he was weighing stuff when at the beginning of the week, and looking at other stuff. He's also an introvert in leadership, and Rob's been having him do YouTube videos on introverts in leadership, right? And the unassuming leader. So that also plays into it. I your life is your life, Ralph, but I don't want to see that one just get chucked off into the ditch on the side of the road either. But that we just kind of we strong-armed Ralph into, this is going to make you money now so you can do the other stuff later, because that's not a quick money maker. But keep building it. Don't just toss it in the back of the closet. Keep building that part. And I know you didn't want to hear me say that, because you're going, God damn it, I got to get back on videos.
Yeah, build your brand. Build your brand. Yep. Yeah. And Gayle probably knows this just about as much as I do, that you need to have multiple streams of income. You just do. I have 7, and I still want to do a few more. And so yeah, you need to have those multiple streams of income if you want to have that lifestyle of the 1%.
Right. I guess with the ebook thing is more just telling my story.
Sure.
Since you're military, right? So you understand the ranks. I retired as a E9, being a quiet guy. So that's why Rob recommended me go write an ebook and go teach about being an introverted leader. Yeah,
it's a great idea, because I'm that way too. Naturally, I'm an introvert, but when I get talking about stuff that I'm passionate about, I'm a big time extrovert. But yeah.
So I gotta. It's kind of off the topic, not really, but just how did you approach these companies? Because I have a buddy of mine. He created this tool, and we're still trying to get it licensed or developed. But how would you go about approaching these companies? Like, hey, are you interested in this? Or just how was that process for you?
Well, I've always been pretty fortunate to know people that know the higher ups in the company. So for that type of situation that you're talking about with your friend, I would say that there's got to be somebody inside of a business development department of these companies. What is the product?
It's an NDA right now, so I don't. It's a tool that we believe can change from the do-it-yourselfer to professional. Because I've never seen it before, but he created it and he wanted me to be his partner. Oh,
very cool. Very cool. Yeah, with it being on our NDA, I wouldn't be able to give you anything specific, except try to reach out to these businesses through their business development departments. And there again, that's just a lot of phone calls. That's a lot of research. Finding these particular type of companies that serve that niche of the product or tool that you're talking about. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
just keep reaching out then.
yeah. Just keep reaching out. One thing that has helped me is having a consistent action. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that be every day, but if you can have consistent daily action, great. If not, just be consistent in the way that you do it, the way that you approach it, and so that way, once you finally get an opportunity to talk with some of these guys, you're confident in your abilities to have the communication to tell them about it. Now, I do know that some of these people that you're going to be talking to are you going to make them, are they going to have to sign an NDA to discuss what is going on with this tool?
Yes.
Okay. I you might run into some red lights on that one. I'm not saying that's going to happen to everybody. I know I don't have a problem signing NDAs, but I wouldn't sign an NDA with a stranger. I would do it for somebody I know and trust every day of the week. But if it's just like you contacting businesses, you're going to have to establish a relationship first. And that's one thing that served me very well in anything that I've ever done. Establish a relationship first before any business is ever conducted. You'll be amazed what doors that can open up. I mean, I've seen that in everything that I've ever done. I've been a serial entrepreneur. I've been in sales and commissions and stuff like that. I feel I can make a sale, any day of the week, and I've been that pushy salesman. And then I think a lot of people would just buy things just to get me out of their face. And it was probably seriously though, it was about 5 years ago. I had that talk with my mentor. He's like, Jason, I don't know why you're so pushy. You have a heart, a genuine heart. You want to help people. You're passionate about it. Why don't you just think about starting a relationship with people first before any business is conducted? And once I did that, holy cow, things just took off. I mean, I'm talking about businesses that 2, 3, 4 times itself over previous years and quarters. And, it's a little bit more work up front, but once you build that relationship with people, it doesn't matter what the price point is. It doesn't matter. There's just a lot of, it doesn't matter what the product is. It doesn't matter price points. If people know, like, and trust you based off of that relationship that you formed with them, they're gonna buy from you all day, and they're gonna refer people to you all day. Word of mouth advertising, that's my jam. I mean, that's how my businesses are conducted, is word of mouth. And so I get these referrals because I've created relationships. I've taken care of the people, and I've just treated them like people. I've treated them, the golden rule. I've treated them how I wanted to be treated. So yeah.
And that's the same type
Okay.
of pathway I think that you're going to find manifesting for yourself as well, Ralph, because yours is going to be all, hey, how'd you get that job? Oh, you got to go see Ralph, man. He does magic with a resume.
Yeah.
Yeah, regardless whether it's getting in federal, getting out of federal, or even civil to civil. Yeah, eventually, because so many people are going to be telling their family, you should see what this guy did to my resume.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I guess it's like that book, right? How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yep. It's kind of funny you mentioned that book. That's the book that my mentor gave me and told me to read it. He told me not to contact anybody for like a month. Just read this book. We're going to have weekly calls and we're going to discuss what you've learned in this book. And from that moment on, that light bulb ding. And like I said, the rest is history. I've been able to do what I do, and I'm kind of at the point now to where I I do what I do to help others. And the byproduct of that is, of course, I get some money, I get some kickback from it, but that's not my ultimate reason of doing what I do. I do what I do to help people like you, Ralph, people that are just starting, as well as other people that are established. Um, it's all about relationships, and and the sooner you know that, and the sooner you can cultivate and create those relationships, because you know, especially we're still in the pandemic, but what's the one thing that's been missing the most over this last year? It's physical contact, it's relationships with
Connection.
people, connection. You do that, you have a connection, you have a relationship with people, you're just going to have money being thrown at you. So yeah, do that. Whatever you do, come from a heart, come from the heart, be genuine, honest, and with integrity, and create relationships and connection with people.
Hmm.
That makes a lot of sense.
Very cool. Do you have any other questions right now, Ralph?
No, this whole week's been very valuable. Everything's now I know what direction to hit because I was a little confused on which direction to hit first, but now I definitely know what direction to hit. So thank you, Jason, for your time. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
you
it.
bet. What direction are you going to go now? Well, it's going to be your first course of
The
action?
resume is probably building the website and then figuring out the point of purchase part after that.
There you go. Awesome. Because you're going to want to be legit, and that comes from the website. And you're going to want to find a way. You're going to want to accept payments, so you're going to want to get paid. So yeah, those are important. Yeah. And if you ever have any questions, look me up. Like I said, I have a pretty good, robust network that um, I can refer people to you. I can tell you what to do, tell you not what to do, and I'll do the best I can for you, Ralph.
Now, do you have, Jason, any
I appreciate it, Jason.
any specific people that you would say, hey, hit up these three people for to see what they're offering as far as helping you out with your website part of it?
Oh, for
Because
website, I'm gonna say Jared Ledbetter.
okay,
He's a good one. Jeff Norton is another good one. And then, I mean, I boast how big of a network I have, but I mean, Rob Garcia.
yeah,
I mean,
Rob
that guy knows
Goodman.
everybody. Yeah. Richard Kaufman knows a lot of people too. He's a good resource. Um, yeah, I would reach out to any one of those four
Yeah.
people.
And if Rob tells you Justin Zerlatich, Justin is phenomenal, but Justin is so busy right now with all the stuff that he's been doing, with people and his clients pivoting during COVID and stuff like that. Um, you could go with number two on Rob's list and do very very well as well.
Yeah, yeah. I can't
Mm,
imagine that Rob would have low quality people on
No,
his
not at all.
his list. Yeah,
no.
I did my own site through WordPress and have for like the last 12, 15 years. I don't recommend it anymore. I really don't. There's way too many apps that can be integrated in, and this one sounds great and this one sounds great, but they don't play well together. And I've ended up having to, to farm out make sure all my things are playing nice together
Yep.
to somebody else. So I don't recommend doing your own WordPress anymore unless you do have some expertise in that area. But like Jason said, Rob's got a whole list of people. Jared Ledbetter would be at the top of my list as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there are a few other
Yep.
people that I know happen to do this stuff and could use some more work at it. So, you could probably get 80% quality for 50% price somebody else besides Jared Ledbetter among, Rob's list of many people. But if you can get Jared, grab him. Grab him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will do.
Okay. Now, do you have any
Sounds good.
final thoughts for us, Jason, before we send everyone on their way today?
I would just like to say, for those that are hesitant about doing something, um, find something you're passionate about, and think of ways that you can generate an income from doing that. And always always find a mentor, find somebody that has the life that you want, and ask them to mentor you. I think 9 times out of 10, you're going to find people that will mentor you. Some of them are going to be like your coaches, so they're going to want to be compensated for it, and rightfully so. But I like to pay it forward. So if there's ever anybody that needs any ideas, they want to bounce ideas off of, they need a sounding board, they need book recommendations, or just anything. If they want to use my network for websites or SEO or just anything, they can reach out to me, and I'm always willing to help, and just help all those other people out, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't have a few very select strategic people that are in my life right now, and I'm just very blessed, and I'm at a point in in my journey, my entrepreneurship, to where that's what I want to do. I've mentioned it before too. I don't do what I do anymore for the compensation or the commission. I do it to help people out, and so that's what I do.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you again, Ralph, for showing up every single day this week. This has been phenomenal to at least have somebody to deliver this to and to actually focus on one person's journey and go, this is how this can help you, while everybody else gets to be a fly on the wall and go, ooh, I could take that one. Thank you very much. I'll take that one. And we'll,
Yeah.
do what we need to do. Thank all of you who have joined us on the replay. And Jason, thank you. I mean, there are levels to my gratitude for you, from being one of the first people to say, hey, she's got something I think I can believe in. Let's see what plays out here, and being my count honorable guiding force moving forward. Among what I'm doing here. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your guidance and wisdom. Every time I turn around, there's something that you can say that reminds me it's all about making relationships, not making money. And
Thank you. I appreciate everything you've done for me as well.
yeah, awesome. All right, my dears, thank you so much, and have a great week.
You too. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Gail.
Thank you. Bye bye.